There's a room in your house you walk through every day without a second thought. But tonight, when the lights are off and you have to cross it in the dark, something changes. Your steps get a little quicker. Your ears strain for sounds that aren't there. And for just a moment, some part of you is certain that something is behind you. You know it's irrational, you know nothing is there, and yet your body refuses to believe you. So why does the dark do this to us? Why are you, a modern human in a locked, safe house, still afraid of nothing but the absence of light? The answer isn't really about the dark at all. It's about what the dark used to mean, for millions of years, to creatures that became us. Your fear of the dark is one of the oldest things you carry. And once you understand where it comes from, that little jolt of panic in the hallway is going to make a lot more sense. Let's get one thing straight first. You are not actually afraid of darkness. Darkness can't hurt you. A dark room is exactly as safe as the same room with the lights on. Nothing physically changes when the lights go off, except one thing. You can no longer see. And that's the real fear. Not the dark itself, but what the dark takes away from you. Humans are overwhelmingly visual animals. Around a third of your entire brain is involved in processing what you see. We rely on our eyes more than almost any other sense. So when the light disappears, your single most important source of information about the world goes silent. You are suddenly blind in a place where anything could be. The fear of the dark has a name, by the way, nyctophobia. But for most people, it isn't a true phobia. It's something far more normal and far more ancient. It's a survival instinct doing exactly what it evolved to do. To understand it, you have to picture the world your ancestors actually lived in. For the vast majority of human existence, night was not a cozy time to relax. Night was the most dangerous part of the day. Think about the animals that hunt in the dark. Lions, leopards, hyenas, wolves. Almost every major predator that hunted early humans had something we didn't. Excellent night vision. Their eyes are built to gather light. A leopard can see in conditions where a human is effectively blind. So when the sun went down, the balance of power flipped completely. In daylight, a group of humans with spears and sharp eyes was a difficult target. But in the dark, those same humans were nearly helpless, while the things hunting them could see just fine. For your ancestors, darkness wasn't the absence of danger. Darkness was when the danger could see you, and you couldn't see it. The humans who felt uneasy in the dark, who stayed close to the fire, who didn't go wandering into the black, those were the humans who survived to have children. The ones who felt perfectly relaxed walking into a dark unknown tended to get eaten before they passed on their genes. In other words, fear of the dark wasn't a weakness. It was one of the smartest things a human could feel. And you are the descendant of the scared ones. Here's where it gets interesting. You know, consciously, that there's no leopard in your hallway. Your rational brain understands you're safe. So why doesn't that knowledge switch the fear off? Because the fear doesn't come from the rational part of your brain. Deep in your brain sits a small, almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. It's one of the oldest parts of the brain, and its job is essentially to keep you alive by reacting to threats faster than you can think. The amygdala doesn't wait for proof. It runs on a simple, ancient rule. When you can't tell whether something is dangerous, assume that it is. This is what scientists sometimes call the better safe than sorry principle. Imagine an ancestor who hears a rustle in the dark bushes. If they assume it's the wind and they're wrong, they die. If they assume it's a predator and they're wrong, they just feel a little silly. Over millions of years, evolution overwhelmingly favored the brains that jumped to the scary conclusion. A false alarm costs you nothing. Missing a real threat costs you everything. So when you walk into a dark room, your amygdala can't confirm you're safe because it can't see either. And following its ancient rule, it does what kept your ancestors alive. It fills the unknown with the worst possibility. That prickle of fear is not a malfunction. It's a 500 million-year-old alarm system doing its job perfectly in a world that no longer needs it. There's a second thing your brain does in the dark, and it's even stranger. It doesn't just feel afraid, it actively starts creating things to be afraid of. When your eyes have almost no light to work with, your brain doesn't simply show you blackness. It tries to fill in the gaps, guessing at what might be there. This is why a coat on a chair becomes a hunched figure, and a shadow in the corner seems to shift when you look at it. Your visual system, desperate for information, turns vague shapes into threats. Psychologists have a related idea here. Our brains are pattern detectors, tuned to spot faces and bodies even in random noise. In the dark, that tendency goes into overdrive. And it's not only your eyes. Your hearing sharpens. Sounds you'd never notice in daylight, the house settling, the wind, your own heartbeat, suddenly feel significant. Because in the dark, sound is the only early warning you have left. Your whole body shifts into a heightened state, pupils wide, muscles tense, senses straining. The same system that gives you goosebumps, that floods you with adrenaline, is quietly preparing you to run from a predator that exists only in the possibility of the dark. Your brain would rather scare you 1,000 times for nothing than fail to warn you once when it matters. This is also why fear of the dark is so powerful in children and tends to fade as we grow up. Young children's brains are still learning the difference between what's real and what's imagined. Their threat detection is fully active, but their ability to reason themselves out of it isn't developed yet. So the monster under the bed feels completely, genuinely real. Because to a child's brain, an unverified threat in the dark deserves to be taken seriously. That's not childish foolishness. It's the same ancient survival logic, running in a mind that hasn't yet learned to override it. As we age, the rational brain gets better at overruling the alarm. We learn to walk into the dark room anyway. But notice, we override the fear, we don't delete it. The jolt is still there underneath every time. We've just gotten better at arguing with it. So the next time you feel that flicker of dread crossing a dark room, don't be embarrassed by it. That fear is not a flaw. It's a gift handed down through an unbroken chain of survivors, every single one of whom lived long enough to pass it on, partly because they were afraid of exactly this. The dark stopped being deadly for most of us a very long time ago. We built walls, locks, and lights. We made the night safe. But the creature inside you that remembers the leopard never got the message. It still stands guard every night, straining into the black, ready to save your life from a danger that isn't coming. You are afraid of the dark because every ancestor who wasn't never got to become someone's ancestor at all.